So,
yeah.
Okay, guys. So welcome everyone. Another amazing meeting. Those webinars are organized by and for the members of the weekly fasting group, which is a big online community of people coming from absolutely different backgrounds. And the common denominator of this group is that we abstain from food from at least 24 hours every week. So that's the habit we cultivate. And other than that, it has absolutely no requirements. We have people coming from the whole range of dietary perspective, from raw vegans to carnivores. So we coexist in love and harmony. And also people come from different spiritual backgrounds. So no other agenda here other than just abstaining from food for 24 hours a week and learning from each other, from our experience about healing, about spirituality, about lifestyle choices, etc. Now, if you're watching this video later on YouTube and those ideas appeal to you, then you will find my WhatsApp number below the video. My name is Arik. I moderate this group, and you just need to send me your name if you want to join with your WhatsApp number, and I'll happily add you. So that's a brief introduction about the framework, those meetings. Now, and today we have with us Brahman Menor. So Rose, over to you. Please introduce our guests and take it from there on.
Okay, thank you, Arik. My name is Rose, and I live in the Netherlands, just like Menor is doing, I understand. And
yes,
I was very much interested in the Pranic initiation, the retreat that you are performing for many people. And that's why I got the idea to invite you, and together with Arik, we prepared this meeting. And the wonderful thing of our network here, this group, is that it's a very positive group, and Arik is also moderating it in a way that it stays like that. So we are very happy to have you here. And you said that you liked to open this meditation, so maybe you first go for the meditation. And as an introduction to you, we put a lot of information on our group already. So what is on your website, they all know now.
Okay, great. Well, first, thank you for this invitation, for sharing this with this beautiful group of people. And I like to invite everybody just to close their eyes. Just slowly breathe in your own way and breathe out in your own way. And every time that you exhale, you let go of all your tensions in the body. You breathe out all your thoughts and ideas. And you start to relax more and more. You go deeper into your own silence, your own energy. And I want to invite you to make a connection with your physical heart, the place where your soul is connected to the physical body, and try to feel your heartbeat. Feel the heartbeat in your chest, and know that your heart has an energy like our aura, and know that you expand that energy in all directions. So slowly you're going to make it bigger. You're going to fill up your chest area, going up your shoulders, your neck, your head, and going down your chest, your arms, belly area, your hips, legs, And even about the body, you can fill up your whole aura with this amazing divine energy. Let it expand a meter outside of your body in all directions. And even further, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters through the camera. And we're going to connect with the whole group through this divine energy that we are always connected with. You keep on opening and expanding more and more. More and more in all directions. And while this energy keeps on expanding, I want to invite you to go with your mind and know that your mind has learned a lot in the past, has heard a lot in the past. And I want to ask your mind, just for this period that we are connected, to sort of surrender, just to be open to everything that will be shared in the next hour, and let the body experience what resonates on your story, your book of life, without understanding, but just by feeling and recognizing the truth and what may be shared, the truth within yourself. While your mind is surrendering more and more, and your energy keeps expanding more and more, I want to invite you slowly to reconnect with your physical body again. Feel your body. And when it feels time for you, you may open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Thank you for being back, everybody.
Thank you. Is this kind of guided meditation, looks it a bit like what you do in the retreats?
Well, this is one of the many visualizations and meditations that we do. We start the day with these kinds of meditations, just every time to open and expand and to try to not disconnect the mind, but let the mind surrender and be open to what they can experience.
Yeah. And I noticed that always when you place a short video, you also close your eyes for a few moments. Do you have then particular thoughts, or it's changing every time it's different?
Well, for me, it's very important. Most of the time, I don't know what I'm going to share, especially in my videos, for example. And I have a lot of different topics, and I just close my eyes out. And the moment I breathe out and I stop breathing out, my mind completely surrenders. It's completely silent, and a topic will come up, and I'll start sharing. And that's more feelable, but resonates easier with people than sharing for me from the mind.
Okay.
I share. I don't want to share knowledge. I like to share wisdom that I've experienced by myself. And that's a different energy most of the time.
Yeah. Did you have to practice this to have the faith that something will come, or how does this work?
No, I didn't practice. What happened in my life in many moments is that I call it source or God or whatever it is, just the universal wisdom and energy just showed itself time over time and tells me what to do. I have a certain flow that I share during the retreat, for example, but 50% of the time it's interrupted by an angel or by a source. Right now we're going into silence, or we're going to do a meditation or a breath exercise, or we shift the whole program. So it's just flowing through me, and it's totally connected to what the group needs.
Okay, and the origin, the source you call it, and
Yeah.
you could call it angel and so on. Is this different energies that work with you then, or it's one particular the same all the time?
Well, for me, everything is connected,
Okay.
but it depends on the moment. For example, if I help someone in the retreat one-on-one, there's always an angel, a guardian angel, and an archangel present. Or when I'm going to share satsang, for example, there's an old guru, my boss always with me, and Buddha is at the other side. And well, it's just a representation of source in some sort of physical way. But it's for me, it's all the same. It's all energy, and it's all the same wisdom.
Okay, okay. Can you share just in a few sentences your background, because you have a very specific background, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I had quite normal parents. They weren't yogis, or they were just hardworking parents. I grew up in the Netherlands. When I was 21, I became an entrepreneur and started bodybuilding as well. And up to my 35th year, I was quite successful. I was a millionaire. I had several businesses that I set up and sold, and huge house, beautiful cars, a lot of money. And I thought that I was completely happy and life couldn't be better. And at my 35th year, Source knocked on my door, and I had an enlightenment moment that lasted for more than 6 months. I opened up, and I had no clue. I wasn't spiritual seeking anything. I thought I was completely happy. And from that moment on, my life completely changed. From an external world, clothing stores, big cars, big house, a lot of money, I was pulled inside, and I really felt that for me at that moment, it was God. God was asking me to go deep in and refine myself, and investigate what my life was all about. So at that moment, within 6 months, I sold everything, and I started a journey to dive into myself, to reconnect, to meditate a lot, to just to find out what Source wanted for me. And that lasted approximately 13, 14 years. And it was a beautiful spiritual path, but also a path of feeling that food, all kinds of food and all kinds of diets that I tried didn't work in my body. I felt all the time, whatever I did, that something wasn't right. I felt a mist. I was always tired. I had some pains here and there, and I knew deep inside something isn't right. And I started eating less, and the less I ate, the better I felt, but I kept on losing weight. So I did so many different diets till I was 70 kilograms. Then I needed to gain weight, tried another diet, lost 20 kilograms, did a new diet, gained some weight. And at my 49th year, I had tried it all, and I didn't know what to do anymore. And again, I really said to Source, I don't know it anymore, just show me the way. And a week later, I met someone who had a Brittarian in-house, and he shared it with me, and he said, you know, that woman didn't eat for 16 years and didn't drink for 16 years. And immediately I felt in my body, and I knew this is my answer. And so that's the start of becoming, well, Pranic living. I start searching for teachers, couldn't find the right teacher, didn't feel right. And at my December 2017, I received a download. It was really given by source with all the exercises, all the knowledge. And well, I did it, and I start sharing that with people.
Yeah. When you go back to this moment that this enlightenment, as you call it, started, can you remember the first minute, second? What happened?
Oh, definitely. It was a moment where a 16-year-old girl was sharing about her life, and she was a dancer, and she said, when I dance, I share a Christ energy with people, and that can touch people. And I said, well, that's very beautiful. And she looked at me, she said, you say it, but you feel it. Well, I was a pumped up bodybuilder, 135 kilograms, no emotions. And I felt a shift in energy. Something shifted there. And I knew this can never be the voice of a 6-year-old girl. It was.
Sorry, the connection is broken for a moment.
Yeah.
The connection was
Sorry.
broken, Menor.
Yeah, do you hear me now?
Now I hear you now, but we didn't hear the last sentences.
Okay. Okay. Well, 5 minutes later, we had a similar moment. And again, she looked at me, and again, she said, you say it, but you don't feel it. Let me show you what I do. And she walked for a video recorder and put on the TV, and she pressed play. And the moment she pressed play, everything stopped. I felt my body dissolving in atoms. It just dissolved, and it was a moment of, and there was nothing anymore. There was no physical experience. There was just some sort of darkness. There was no love. There was no connection, and I was just some sort of awareness into everything and nothing at the same time. But there was no physical experience. So no feeling, just being. And then I felt that my body was compressed back to a physical body. I came back, and there I started crying. I had no clue. But deep inside, I knew that Source was calling out to start doing something for him. And that was really my deepest experience up till that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when Source is working, do you hear a voice or words or?
Well, 24/7 there is a voice in my ear all the time. There are angels around me all the time that are sharing wisdom connected to what I'm doing in that moment. In the moment of let's call it awakening or enlightenment, all channels were opened. So feeling, hearing, knowing, everything exploded. I saw aliens, I saw diseased people, angels, whatever was there, is there, just opened. And I really had no clue.
Yeah. And when you got this program,
yeah,
you could write it down, or how did you?
Oh, that was not necessary. I always say I received the program, but the program was already there. What I recognized, I was on the beach in the Caribbean for 10 days into some sort of my own silence retreat, and I recognized that something opened or something popped up, and my body started doing breath exercises. My arms are waving. I heard some sort of a download, a lot of noise coming in. And from that moment on, I knew all right, this is a transformation process. And I thought that was connected to the physical body and for pranic living.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the name Brahman Menor, how did you get it and what does it exactly mean?
Oh, okay. When I had my enlightenment moment, the word Brahman starting buzzing around. I heard Brahman, Brahman, Brahman all the time till I was 49.
Oh.
Menor is my guardian angel. He presented himself quite just after my enlightenment moment as well. But I had no clue that those two names were connected to each other. When I received the Pranic process, the transformation brought me into a process with my wife, and that was such an extreme process that when I was 50, my heart stopped for 3 times. I had 3 times within 1 hour that my heartbeat stopped, that I exactly had the same as my enlightenment moment. I disconnected, and a moment of not being nowhere. I was somewhere in a wide, big space, and Source showed me my new book of life. And that was from that moment on till I was going to die somewhere in the future. And he showed me, this is who you were, this is your new book, and the name Brahman Menor is connected to that. Is in different energies, and like some old incarnation that will come with this energy. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to share this process, and we will always be with you. And yeah, you know who we are, what we are, and what we can do together. So it's time to go back. And I connected with my physical body for 3 times because it was pretty extreme, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, connecting. And when I came back, Darshan energy started to flow through my body. It's an accelerator of helping people to refine themselves within that energy. And Darshan is connected to Brahman, and Brahman is an Indian name for being connected to everything that is. Well, we all are that, but some people are more aware or more open of having a different destiny in life. And Menor means being of light. So it's being of light connected to everything that is. Well, and we all are those same words.
Okay, nice explanation. About the initiation process itself.
Yeah.
You talk about making cells empty. There, I found 4 aspects. Maybe you can elaborate on that. Making the cells empty, changing of the DNA, closing of the wall of the intestines, and resetting the immune system. Those are all physical aspects. Can you share about that?
Yeah. After 6 years, I started, or 5 years, I started to fully understand the process that I operate. Because if you look to Emoto, the Japanese investigator that looked to water and the crystals, he proved that water absorbs everything that you experience. And we think that knowledge and wisdom and everything that we have experienced is stored in our brain. And we forget that we are between 65 and 85% water. So your physical body absorbs that you heard, and as long as there is in your water, if I don't drink enough, I can die. Of when I don't eat enough, I will lose weight. Or when I don't eat healthy, I have a lack of vitamins and minerals. We can think that we can live on prana, for example, but the body will react in your water. It's so extreme that we don't understand how our physical system works. So one of the first exercises that was shared was an activation, is a 4-step breath exercise to activate your cells, to first connect with prana. That's the first step. The second step is to dissolve what's in your water with that prana. The third step is shout out, just let it flow out of your body by cleansing your body with that prana. And the fourth step, and for me the most important, open up in the space that has been created by breathing out and activating your cells to start releasing. And in the moment you are opening in that fourth part, in the expansion, the emptiness that has been created or has been created, you will recognize that you are not only this physical body, but really that expansion. And those 4 are critical, those steps to start the activation of the release of your past. Directly after that breath exercise, I give them a visualization to start changing your cells, because when your cell is splitting into 2 new cells, it takes the past into the new cell. And what we change in that visualization is that the cell changes into a stem cell. A stem cell is an empty cell with no memory. And in that moment of changing during the regeneration, the past is released. So the activation is connected to our physical regeneration of our cells. And that will take approximately a year to release your full past, whatever your age is, during your regeneration of your cells. It is approximately 12 months. What's also important is the change of your DNA. Because, for example, when a baby is born and you put your finger in their mouth, they know I have to suck because that's my reflex. That's pre-programmed. There's not knowledge or wisdom. That's just program that's running through the body. We have the same with food. If we don't eat enough, the body will say, hey, I need some food. It will give you hunger. And if you don't eat, it will give you a craving. And you're out of control. You open your fridge and everything that's in there will be eaten. You're really out of control there. So those particles are changed in your DNA to create more freedom to take control over your food intake.
Does it mean
so
that
those 3 steps? Yeah.
Does it mean that you then change your conviction from if I don't eat, I die, into I don't need food for living?
No. It's the same like there's a fire, I have to run away. It's fight, flight. And those programs are the survival programs inside the body, inside your DNA. Convictions and traumas and teachings that we have learned are in our water, but that's different than DNA. DNA is really fight, flight. If you don't drink water for 2 days, you will have the feeling that you have a dry mouth and you need to drink a lot of water. But when you feel, your tongue is never dry. That's impossible. So it's just the feeling to let us know I need some intake, or the body needs intake of water. That's the same with food, as we have a lot of programs like that running in our system. So those two together, emptying your cells with all the positive and negative experiences about food, including the change of the program, creates total freedom.
And as you explain with thoughts, is it then the thoughts who are the driver of starting this change on the physical level?
No, but everything that I do, that I help people to do by themselves, they have to experience. Because a thought is always going in 100 directions. There's always doubt on thoughts, and there's never doubt if you had an experience. So the moment you change your cells, you're going to absorb that cell into the body. You will keep on laying for at least half an hour until you feel your whole body reacting to that new cell, to that new initiation, the new change. The same with your DNA. Everything that I help people with, they need to experience. Because you can never do this with by knowledge. You have to do this with experience, by experience.
And how is everyone that participates in the retreats able to do this?
Well, that's the most asked question. And for me, I can always say yes. Why? We change ourselves. Everyone that has been in a weekend or in a week is ready to fully surrender to pranic living within 12 months. The hardest part is taking control of our addiction of food. That's harder than not eating and drinking. Living on prana is an activation, is a change of your physical body, and within a year, your whole body can absorb 100% prana. You can live and feed your body in its total perfection after a year. But taking control of our biggest addiction in life, that's the biggest challenge. So after the retreat, when people are initiated, motivated to start, you start an addiction program to take control over food. You need to be able to start and stop eating. So in that program, I advise people in the first week, try pranic living one day. For example, your Wednesday is your pranic day. You don't eat, you don't drink there, just live on prana. And the first day is easy. The second week you do the same. The third week you do the same. And the third or the fourth, you will recognize that there is a resistance mind, or an excuse from the mind, or a party, or there's always a reason not to surrender to that pranic day. So you keep on training that till you have that one day in a week under control. Then you go to 2 days in a week, separate of each other.
Yeah, and so
Tuesday.
Sorry. What is the difference then between this training that you now describe and dry fasting?
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Well, what's the difference? Absolutely. Because everyone can dry fast up till 7 days. 5 days safe, 7 days are doable, but more than 7 days are really how do you call it? Gevaarlijk?
Dangerous.
They're dangerous for the physical body, because organs can fail, your brain can fail. Because most people that are trying a dry fast for 7 days, they will lose 10 till 15 kilograms in that week. Because your cells are still programmed. They are conditioned with that old knowledge. Although we think that we can do it, the physical body will react, and you will keep on losing weight. I had the same experience in those 14 years. I kept on losing weight, and I knew there is a way, but I didn't know the way yet. If you had that initiation, if you activated your own body with all the exercises to start dissolving that old knowledge and wisdom from the body, that's still here, but from the body will start reacting less and less. All my people, all my participants that will go for 7 days without water and food will lose 2-3 kilograms maximum. Instead of dry fasting for 7 days, you will lose at least 15 kilograms. That's a proof that there is a difference. Something is different in the people that have done the initiation compared to people that didn't do that initiation.
Yeah. And in what way is your program different from other Pranic teachers?
Well, most Pranic teachers say that going dry for 3 up till 7 days is the way to start the activation of living on prana. Well, what I've received is that without the activation of your cells, it's almost impossible. A lot of people keep on losing weight if they just did the 5 or 7 day program in the past, and it's very hard to convince the whole body that that's the new way of living by Pranic without food and water intake. The program that I received is especially for the Western world, where we don't take the time for years to be silent or to go into a monastery or just meditate till you're enlightened. This is a fast way to cleanse ourselves and to take away the foundation of who we are. The transformation process is so much more than Pranic living, because everything that you are up till now is based on your past. Everything that you've experienced, positive, negative, is in your water, and that creates triggers, positive and negative emotions, the story, and our actions. And that's how we build up our lives. The moment you do this cleansing of your water, your whole past is dissolving. So everything that's unhealthy or doesn't feel right anymore, like partners, your huge house, the work that you're doing, friends and family that you're having, if that's resonated on that unhealthy part of the past, and you do this transformation, you will feel, I can't live with that person anymore. I don't want to spend that much money on that big house because we are together and we don't need that amount of square meters. Or my work doesn't fit me anymore because I'm doing it for the money and not for my divine flow of life. It's so amazing what's all included, including physical healing. Well, so many ways to help people, and it's all included in one simple week or weekend program.
I can imagine when you share this, like all the changes that are going to come for people that are not used to that, they are scared to hell to start it. So that's why there are so little breatharians, maybe.
No, what I see is that most people that have done a program like this, there is more Pranic flow, but making the decision to quit your biggest addiction, there is the biggest challenge.
That's what I feel too, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, because everything that you take in, liquid or solid, you chose by yourself because you like it. And everything that you like, of thinking of food, of creating or getting it, are all ups. Oh, I'm going to eat this, or I'm going to prepare, or I'm taking it. It's all up, 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 up. We're compensating everything that we neglect, that we don't want to feel. It's mind-blowing that if you do a program like this, that you will find all the structures that has control over your life.
Yeah.
And food is one of the biggest in your life.
Yeah. And this part of your initiation, what you call Darshan, can you exactly explain what you are doing? what you are doing, what you are thinking at that moment?
Well, to be honest, the moment. Well, no. Let me start with the beginning. Darshan is an energy that I can never stop. It's always flowing through everything that I do and where I am. In the retreat, I am allowed to share that Darshan energy, to let the mind surrender. So it's a very short, like meditation process. I look them in the eyes and say, close your eyes, start laying down by surrendering. And everyone that is starting to lay down, their mind will surrender, because otherwise you won't lay down. So the moment they lay down, the gateway is opened for more source energy, and I call it the light beings. They will help the people that are surrendering into the Darshan energy in physical, emotional, and spiritual way. Some people feel really an enlightenment moment. Other people that are ill feel that really hands are working in their physical body by helping them to heal. Other people just start crying out of nowhere and they have no clue what they're crying about. And it's just a gateway that's opening for whatever may be changed at that moment in their physical body, emotional body, or spiritual body. And to be honest, where am I, or what am I thinking? I am not there at that moment. What I feel is that there's so much energy flowing through my body that most of the time I just walk around like a bubble of light, and I feel my whole body vibrating on that high energy, and I'm just there. I'm sort of a gateway or an accelerator to share that energy. Like Amma, the hugging guru, she's born in Darshan energy, and when you enter her room, you don't need that hug. When you enter her space, you feel, all right, something is different. That's in my space as well. So if you enter my workshop room 24/7, you will feel I'm coming into some sort of holy, safe space. People always feel safe in that energy.
Yeah, and that first moment when you look in the eyes are still open. How long does that take? How long does
that can be just a split second. We don't have to connect for a minute. The moment we connect, people feel that they've gone or see different images or start crying, and they really no clue why.
And they, like in the video I saw, it's looked as if the person is falling back.
Yeah, that was in the past, that they stood there. I stood in front of them, and they fell. But the groups are growing. So at that moment there were 15 up till maximum 20 people. At this moment it's 40 up till 400, and I can't do that process, so that the amount of energy was increased. And right now I'm just standing in front of the group and say, okay, look into my eyes. I make one connection. I just scan the whole crowd. I make connection with everybody. And the moment I feel them and I hear a yes, it's all right, lay down or sit down, close your eyes and surrender. And that works. Even that works. So I'm just accelerating more and more with the amount of people that want to join.
Would it work online as well?
It can definitely work online. Yeah.
You're not thinking of a program online. Some people do programs online.
Well, we are starting that within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for the initiation of pranic living.
Yeah, and yeah, can you? I didn't hear about closing the wall of the intestines and the immune system resetting. Can you?
Of course. When I was bodybuilding, an expert of leaky gut, they call it leaky gut, was doing blood tests, and especially on bodybuilders, because they put a lot of food into their system and they want to extract as many proteins and carbs and vitamins from that amount of food. And he tested a lot of bodybuilders and showed that we all had a leaky gut. And what happens there is that our gut is a little bit open and food is going through the wall. Undigested food is going through the wall into the bloodstream, and everything that's not from our own body is seen by the immune system as dangerous, so it attacks all those food items. And now, let's say 70% approximately of our immune system is always busy with those food particles. Why is an leaky gut, how is it created? It's because 90% of our food that we eat, we are intolerant to. Approximately just 5 to 10% of what we eat is really healthy for our body. And that's for everyone different. So I always say there is no healthy food and there is no healthy diet, because you don't know what's healthy for your system. And it's just 5%. And we don't want to eat just those 5%. We always want to eat more. So I believe that everyone on this planet that's eating and doesn't did the blood test or a hair test or some other test, and they're just eating and feeling well. Is it right or wrong for me? That they all have leaky gut, and that creates a lot of illnesses. It makes us more vulnerable. It drains a lot of energy. The moment I started to change my diet during bodybuilding, my energy exploded. I became 20% stronger just by eating the right particles. It was amazing. Well, the moment you start living on prana, your leaky gut always closes fully. Your immune system resets daily. So I believe that someone like a breatharian sun gazer or pranic living has the most healthy body that you can imagine.
So these two parts, what you explain about the goal of the intestines and the immune system, that is what happens as a result of the whole process. So you don't need to pay special attention to it. It's then the most important part of the initiation is emptying the cells and changing the DNA and the Darshan.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so, there's more involved, because if you want to take away the food, you will experience the negative traumas that we have experienced and the emotions that we all have built up in all the years. And you need to work on those emotions. So we have daily breath exercise to drain that emotional box, for example. Yeah. I use morning Kundalini yoga, including heart openers, to dissolve the wall around us for some sort of protection. Because if you take away more vulnerable, but vulnerability is our most beautiful and strongest quality. So if I can help people to open more, receive more prana, change your physical body, get your emotions in line, it's such a beautiful gift for your own system if you can work on all those levels.
If someone has meditated for quite some time, do you think that makes this process of pranic change easier?
No, because they still eat. And the heart.
Yeah, but I mean, when they want to go into this pranic lifestyle, having meditated for quite some time, do you think that it helps?
No, most of the time, no. What I experience is the more people have walked a spiritual path and a path of cleansing, the more conditioning there is in their mind. And everything that I share is a little bit different, most of the time 180%, than they know or they learned. Because a lot of people learn a lot, but they don't experience a lot. And the only thing that I'm sharing is a little bit, this is what we're going to do, and now we're diving in. And the moment you dive in, your mind is, especially with people that know a lot, learned a lot, they experience a lot of mind resistance in everything that they're going to experience.
Ego.
Ego, yes. Yeah, let's keep it simple. I call it mind because ego is also a negative word, but it's also quality. It's ego, personality, mind, knowledge, whatever we want to call it. And that will challenge them most of the time. So for them, it's even harder because, for example, when you're a Kundalini teacher and you're sitting in my retreat and I'm doing my Menor Kundalini, it's always different because I don't follow a rule, I follow flow. And a lot of breath exercises needs to be in a certain way, or yoga needs to be done in a certain way. Everything that I do is free flow. And that triggers a lot of teachers that are already been in my retreat because I'm not doing this right and that is wrong. But the end result is so much deeper than they've ever experienced. So what I see, the less knowledge people have of the less spiritual they are, the easier it is to surrender to this process. Because they have no clue what they are going to do. They feel it. Holy mo, I need to be with him or I need to follow this program. And they come and they just do all the exercises and they open up and have the most amazing experiences.
Yeah.
No resistance and they just do it.
Yeah. Do you notice that people start to look in a different way at you, like kind of guru? Does that happen?
That happens. Yeah, it happens quite a lot. But I always say I don't want followers. I want to help you to change what you can change in your life. For example, for pranic living or for healing. And after that, you don't need me anymore. That's the reason that I'm not doing weekly sessions or online sessions or Zoom sessions just to connect and gain energy or something else. No, I share what I've experienced and that's it. Take that experience, let it like a seed, let it grow and let's see what happens in the future. You don't need me for that. Of course, there are people that are oh, you're so special, but we are all special. We're all equal. We are all walking our own path of life, and one is more like a teacher, and another one is a follower, and a third one is a king or whatever. But we are all souls. We're all the same soul. We are just energy connected to a physical body that wants to have an experience here, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. So I don't feel like a guru. I just feel that, well, my life changed dramatically a couple of times. And at this moment, I'm a pranic teacher that can heal people, that can help people, that can really change the world when people are feeling that they are sent to receive this process or receive the help within this process.
Yeah. So this needs a lot of humility. Do you do something extra for this? Some attention that you pay to certain things, or to be humble is quite necessary, I think. And
well, what I feel is in the past, everything that I did and achieved was ego fulfilling. And when when you are really called to share processes like this, it's not ego fulfilling. It's something different. It feeds something from within, and I know that I'm carried. I know that I'm fulfilled in a different way. You know, I have no words for that. You know, I feel humble, but at the same time, I feel very powerful because I can help millions of people. And being humble is what I am in that moment of sharing during the retreat. A lot of emotions flow through. I see people as a group because we are one. I don't want to be a teacher on a chair somewhere without a connection. I am one of the participants. And yeah, during my sharing, people say, "Oh, I feel a lot of energy," and yeah, that's right. But when you close your eyes and you start feeling in the body without the mind judging something, you will feel something different. You will feel the Darshan energy and the humbleness that's really flowing through this body.
Cool. So we were talking about meditation before. You said it is quite a hindrance if you have a lot of meditation experience. But what is then the part or the place of meditation in the retreats?
Well, to be honest, I use more visualizations than meditations. And visualization just by opening into that energy and let me show you a certain path that is shown to me at the same moment. So when I say there's a light coming that will become an angel and standing in front of you, that's what I see happening. So I share what I see, and because it's there at the same moment, there's a different energy as well. But that are the visualizations all the time. But after every exercise, people will fall into meditation because we are doing quite a lot of dynamic breath exercises, for example, with chaos at the end. And after the chaos, you will just open up, lay down and open. And there they fall into meditation. The mind is still in the active mode. And when you just surrender at that moment, you'll have a moment of bliss. And you open into that bliss and you expand more. And there I let them expand for an hour at least. So almost 50% of the time that you're in the workshop, you're just opening and experiencing source. Because for me, that part is as important as the physical change. Because the mantra that is connected to that pranic living is I am source, and I'm going to nourish this body in its total perfection. And you can never say I am source without having the experience. Because then you will say, I think that I am source.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know, so you need to have that experience. Everyone that's participating my week or weekend is opening into that expansion, is opening and experiencing that is not that physical body, but also the energy that's flowing through that physical body.
And how is silence connected to this? Is this like they fall into silence?
Well, there are 4 days of not communicating during the retreat, because communicating is 99% of the time done here. And when you don't communicate, just experience in the 2 hours in between the sessions, you can lay down, open up, walk a little bit through the building, through the garden, experience everything that is there as energy or colors or smell, but don't communicate. They still they are silent from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, and then there are 1 or 2 hours that they are allowed to share anymore, because if you dive into that energy, you will slow down and you'll find your own to share. They don't want to talk anymore. They just want to be and stay in that silence part. It's an amazing gift.
Okay. I think I come to kind of end of the questions that I have, and I know there are still many questions from others. So Arik, maybe you take over now. And
yeah, absolutely, guys. So
thank you very much, Brahman Menor.
Yeah, thank you for all your beautiful questions and your connection.
Thank you.
Yeah, Menor. So usually, you know, when I interview people, I used to every half an hour or something like that to open the mics for the people. But we do have lots of questions in the chat we had received prior to this meeting. But I would like to give priority to people who are present now. So, guys, if you have any questions, you are welcome to unmute yourself and just ask your questions. And if we don't have any, then I will just go to the chat. So who is the first?
Hello. Good evening.
Hey, hi,
good evening.
Hi. I missed the beginning about changing your DNA or resetting yourself. Or could you repeat it? How exactly? Like you said, you changed the programming in every cell of the body, and So could you repeat how you do that?
Of course. Well, there is a breath exercise that's in 4 parts. The first part is using prana by breathing into your body and doing a certain movement to connect the prana with your cells. You need to feel that prana is really connecting with your cells. The second part is using that flow of prana to dissolve everything that's in your cell, and you don't have to investigate. Just know that the second part is dissolving everything that's in your water, so changing the frequency of your water. The third part is letting it cleanse, just the prana going through your cells and releasing that what is dissolved in the previous 15 minutes. And the last one is opening into the space that has been created. Because when you breathe out part of the past, there is more space, there's more prana, there is more bliss in your body. So after those 45 minutes of doing your breath exercise, you just open and you feel the expansion, you feel the change in your body. So that's what we do first, and we connect that activation of those cells, of that releasing of the cells, to your physical regeneration of your cells, because your whole body is always 24/7 for the rest of your life regenerating all your cells. And we change the regeneration of your cell from an old cell to a new cell with the past, to an old cell and a small cell. In the moment your old cell is changing to 2 new cells, it releases its past, because that's a new programming. And you will experience that in the next 12 months. People have, for example, 1 week a complete rush on their skin, or feel very emotional for a couple of days, or very sad, or very happy, or they have different physical reactions for a couple of days up till 2 weeks, and it will go well. And it's all connected what your cells are releasing. Do you understand?
Yeah, okay. And how many times do you do it? Just once is enough, and for how long?
Oh no, no. Well, in the retreat, it is done at least 4 times, but it needs to be done as. And what I recognize is that I have no doubt about living on prana, and let's call it the power of having no doubt is shared back with the energy of the group. If you have a teacher that has a certain experience, he says, this is how it's going to be. It's a new programming in your water. I take the doubt away of people that are doing it within the group energy. That's what I send out, even online, within a couple of weeks when the program is online, where you start doing your exercise guided by me through YouTube. You will feel the change in your body. You will feel that my doubt is flowing away.
And where do you have these exercises?
When?
Where?
Where? You mean online?
Yeah.
Do you? Well, at this moment, I don't have them online because what I experience that when people think that they have all the keys to pranic living and they start experimenting by themselves, that most of the time their cells don't fully activate. And when they think they did and they start trying to start living on prana, they keep on losing weight. Although they feel better, they keep on losing weight. And somewhere within the connection, somewhere within the programming that I'm allowed to share, is an energy that will help your body to stop losing weight. Why? I have no clue. If I was able to share that energy and that program with other teachers, I would only do teacher training, because then I could explode and help the whole world. But at this moment, no one that has done the program and knows all the exercises is able to help people to cleanse their cells. Why? I have no clue. So I'm still doing what I hear. The moment I hear a yes, I will start teach the whole world to help other people.
So at the moment, it's just in what you do it in your retreats.
In my retreats, and that's one of the reasons for me to go online, because I know when it's connected to me, and it's not, for me, it's not about the money. Believe me, I don't live from this business. My own money that I live from, and the business is the business, as I always say. But by doing it online, I can reach out to almost everybody, and it's just, let's say, 200 euros, and you can do the download with all the exercises, and you can start work by yourself wherever you are. So it's available at that moment for almost everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Revital, you also posted a few questions in the chat, so if we can
Okay.
just save the time and ask if you still have them. If you don't have them, that's also fine.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I asked. So if you're a breatharian and your body's alkalized, so you're not supposed to age, and but from what I see, there are many breatharians that sort of age. They're not. You're supposed to be younger again, not just stop aging, but reverse the situation. But it doesn't look that way. So why is that? Aren't you supposed to, to be young again?
Well, okay. First, what I see, that most people that have done my process, they look 10 years younger. I call it a free facelift for most women. Most really feel younger. But what I see, the moment I had my enlightenment moment 20 years ago, I start seeing timelines. From here you are born, this is your life, and here you will die. That will never change. You can never extend, that's what I see, you can never extend that life. What I do see is that people that are doing, but I see most people that have done my process, they have a little longer timeline. So it's part of their timeline. Their book of life for me is already written. We're born, we walk a certain path, we do certain things, we start going pranic, and that's 10 years longer than normal life. That's what I see.
Okay, so you're saying that pranic living, then it's an anti-aging measure, and also in terms of longevity, it gives you more time. So okay, from your
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because it's very simple, because you have a healthier body, so your body can, and your cells are releasing all the time what you're experiencing. So of course you have a healthier body that can extend, or the period that we can use this body is going to be longer, of course.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Beautiful question.
Thank you, Rovital. Kelly, did you want to ask something?
Yeah, I have a lot of different things. It's lovely to meet you. And Rose, thank you so much for facilitating this. This has been really beautiful. I had a lot of questions coming in, but so many of them have kind of evolved just in the state of presence is kind of, I know you have a different term for it, but that's kind of what I feel called to call it. So kind of where the questions are evolving right now is, well, one is kind of, in your experience, how does this relate to, obviously I see the benefits for healing, and from kind of my experience, it speaks a lot to quantum clearing of the cells, the patterning, releasing of trauma, and then kind of like rewiring, reprogramming the DNA. But I don't know if you could speak to how this for you connects with this concept of ascension or even transcendence, like limitlessness. And it actually kind of piggybacks perfectly off of Rivital's question, because I see things a little differently. I definitely resonate with this concept of kind of speaking into the book of life. But then what if there's a way to rewrite that, or be like, oh, okay, that is maybe what's been, but what about beyond that? I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, not for me. What I see on timelines is exactly what's happening in people. If I can tell you if you have a question about how many children I'm going to have, with how many partners, what I'm going to do in my life, it's in that timeline, it's all in that book. Where is then the freedom of creation of choice, for example? For example, in my life, looking back to what I've experienced in this life, I can say that none of the things that I've experienced, I chose. It really just happened in my life. Everything appeared at the right moment in magical ways. That's the reason that I'm writing my bio, and that will be printed within, I think, one and a half year, because I had an amazing book of life with lots of ups and downs, but I can really pinpoint why it happened. It was all connected. My bodybuilding, my investigation of food, my experience about food, just to get me where I am at this moment. Otherwise, I could never share this process. And it's even related to personality. You need a certain energy to help people. You need a certain opening to help people. It's part of the body, part of personality, part of brain, part of soul, part of your path, your book of life.
Okay. It's really interesting. And this actually kind of connects to my second question, which is for those who feel resonant to this state of being, from what your experiences, those that you've worked with, and what you can see of your book of life now, do you feel that some people might kind of, in a sense, be born this way, already activated, and then, or already initiated, maybe just needing activation at a certain point, or perhaps even already were activated, and then because of interference or life choices or whatever, that they got off their path, and now it's kind of just coming back into harmony with it, but don't necessarily maybe need an initiation or an activation. Working with a teacher can always be helpful for a lot of reasons. I kind of see it more as a mentor, but I just didn't know if you could speak to that in your experience.
Well, you know, we all have the memory of pranic living in ourselves, because the first cell after the semen and the sperm of the egg and the sperm came together, the first stem cell was just floating through the womb without being connected to any source, just living on prana. That's our first primal experience, being that cell, being fed by source or by prana or chi, or however you want to call it. So we are all born and created with that memory. I reach out to that memory within everybody. We are all beings that have a blueprint. Your default is pranic living, not even breatharian or sun gazing, because they need the sun or they need the breath exercise. Pranic living is just opening into your own blueprint, into your default state of being without the need of food and water. That's what I teach people. That's what we are. That's what you are. And we all are. Are there children? Yeah, thank you. I feel really, open by this. Are there children born? No, that's beautiful. Just open in what's happening right now. Are there children born with the aware knowledge that they don't need food? 100%. I know that for a fact. But the moment they have a parent that are conditioning their children, it's in the water, and it's hard to get rid of that. The reason that I'm allowed to do this work is not to stop people from eating at this moment. I help them to give them the experience that is possible. And when 10% of the total population at this moment have experienced that they don't need any food for a day, a week, or a year, it changes the collective. And within 50 years, most of the children will be born with the awareness and the knowledge that they don't need any food. That's the change that's happening right now. COVID is part of that. This is part of that. Everything that's happening in the world is all connected, and it will come together in that period, 50 to 70 years. That will be the biggest period of change that we have ever experienced.
Yeah, I've been seeing like the next 30 years are huge for the shift, and it's been hard to embody that. Again, I kind of pushed it away just to survive. So anyone else seeing this, I think this moment is going to be huge, because it's it can be hard when you're not connected with others who know this. And it's thank you for your presence, and Arik and Rose, thank you for facilitating this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here and being who you are.
Okay, guys, do you have any more questions?
Arik, hi. Please, speaking here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's the sound is not the best, but still we can hear you. Yeah.
I understand. I'm sorry. Hi, Brahman. Thank you so much. Very, very interesting. I love every word you said today. It's wonderful. and your own process. My God, wow. And you touch a part which I love very much, which is the need to empty the cells and reprogram them. That's something that is missing in all the other processes I have known. So it's wonderful. Thank you. I have a question, dear Brahman. Is it, does this process lead you to stop eating and drinking at all, 100%, or it takes a while? It's a gradual process. How does it work? Thank you.
Well, the initiation starts somewhere in a weekend or a week, and it's connected to your cells. So it will take you a year to change all your cells, to empty all your cells, and after a year, your body is able to absorb and let 100% prana flow through your cells. So after a year, you are able to live on prana. And during the year, you can follow a program to become more in control of your food intake. So you need to start being aware, when do I eat, why do I eat, how do I eat, how do I lower my metabolism, care for it for 2 days or 3 days, and you will extend the training more and more till you have total control. And even that takes at least a year. It's like someone who's smoking or using drugs. You know, they start smoking less and less, and then one day not, and then they smoke and less and less and less and less, and at the end they can stop, or even for a month and take and don't keep on smoking. It's the training that's the trick of your food control.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, guys. Any more questions? So, Menor, I wanted to ask in terms of like on practical terms, in terms of your own food intake nowadays and your lifestyle nowadays. So, are you not eating at all, or not drinking, or every now and then? How does it go in your case?
Well, in my case, I eat. I taste. I don't eat. I taste. Let's say once in the 2 months, something new. If I see someone eating something that I don't know, I say, well, let's put a spoon in just for the taste, because it's not about the filling of my body or my stomach. It's just about the explosion of taste in my mouth. Drinking, hardly. I think once in the 2 months, during a special occasion. My parents are 80 years old, so when they're having to celebrate something, I am there. And so I adapt, especially with my parents, or a family happening. But that's what I drink and eat in a year is what normal people eat and drink in 3 days.
Wow. Okay. And do you have urinating and bowel movements?
No, I don't urinate at all, only during the retreat, because there the amount of energy is so high that my body is compressed, and I feel the urge 1 or twice to urinate a little bit, because that's because of the compression of the body. Do I have stool? No, not at all. The first year, because we all have stomach, how do you call it, plaque, the old shit that's in your digestive system, it comes out once in a while in the first year. And in my case, after 12 months, there was 2 kilograms of black tar coming out. I felt my whole digestive system reacting as a blob, like blubber. And after that, I didn't have any stew anymore.
Wow, incredible. Okay, guys, we still have questions in the chat, but the priority is for the people who are here. So do you have any more questions?
I have one question. You said that everyone has only 5% of food that is suitable for them. So is it the same thing, or you're saying it's different? Like everyone, you're saying it's raw vegan, a fruit, or it's different for everyone? And how could you know?
Yeah. Well, it's really different. It's different for everybody, every single physical body. And I recognize that during my bodybuilding period, because we did that with 60, 70 bodybuilders, and we all had a different result. And we made a choice after 2 months to redo it for 2 times again. And again, it was totally different for everybody. Our own list just shifted 5%. 1 or 2 items were on and off, but the rest was constant. Was what do you call it? Yeah, the same. But again, for everybody, the end result is always different. That's a reason that I always say do healthy food, because you never know what your physical body reacts on what type of food.
All right. So can you know that what's your body needs? How could you know that what's good for your body?
Well, what I have tested is don't approach it spiritually by using a biotensor or a pendle or things like that, because it's all about the physical body and not the spiritual body. The spiritual body needs different energies, different products, but the physical body still is the physical body, how spiritual we are. So if you do a blood test, product intolerance test, a food intolerance test, it shows 500 single food products like broccoli and potato, and not in general, but really the specific product, peanuts, nuts, whatever. And there is a green, an orange, and a red list. The green list is what your body can really accept, what your body is not intolerant to. And the rest, you better never eat again.
You say that maybe some people, the food that they need to eat is animal products and dairy, for example, and they're in.
That is possible, definitely, yeah. But still, you can make a choice. You know, I'm vegan for the last 25 years. I never took anything dairy anymore. No meat, no cheese, no nothing. No, not at all. And it was still on my green list, but I didn't take it anymore.
And you're saying that there are some people that a fruit is bad for them? Like,
oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. I was for a year I was a fruitarian, so I only took fruit, and lived in the Caribbean, so we had beautiful bananas and mangoes and papayas. 80% didn't work, because if you and I didn't test it like with intolerance. I knew my list, but even on my list, the moment I took, for example, a pineapple or part of pineapple, I start furting. At the moment you furt or your burp up, it's a sign that your body doesn't want to accept that. When you feel the saliva coming up, it's a sign of the body that it doesn't want that anymore. So even my green list became less and less and less. So at the end, I was a liquidarian with 2 types of liquids and water, and I kept losing weight, and I felt heavenly, but I couldn't sustain my body weight, and so I said, okay, now I really give. I don't know it anymore. And then this program came, so it was a gift from heaven.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Menor, and I wanted to ask your opinion about nutritional science. Now, before a person gets transitioned to living on prana, in your opinion, is this science of vitamins, minerals, absorption, is it valid? Because some people don't believe in that. Some people do believe in that. So what's your opinion?
Well, what I see, as long as people believe it, they will react to that. So you believe that you need our system. I believe that prana will feed me.
Menor, I'm sorry, your connection, you got disconnected for a moment. So could you please repeat from the beginning your answer? Because we couldn't hear you.
Of course. Everything that we hear and learn is knowledge, and it's also in our cells. And when it's in your cell, your body will react to that. So as long as there's in your water, I need minerals and vitamins, the body will react on that. My belief is that when I say to myself, I fully live on prana and I've cleansed my cells, and I've proved that for the last 6 years, that everything that we know is not true anymore. If I can live for 6 years on energy without food and water, 1 and 1 is not 2 anymore.
And for the person who does live on food, so is it valid? It might it be valid, like this knowledge of vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, etc.?
As long as that's their belief system, yes, it's still valid. Yeah.
Okay, great answer. Yeah.
Sad enough, because we can program our own water. Emoto proved that we can program our water. So if you reprogram your water by cleansing it first and then saying to yourself, I only can live on water, for example, then that's your new program. Your body will respond to that.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, guys, any more questions from those who are present here?
I have one more, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
So I read on your website a little, and I've started going through your YouTube videos as well. So I don't know if you could expand upon the near-death experiences that you've had, and like how, maybe not necessarily about them in particular, because you already covered that, but how your spiritual perspective and your work and your life has shifted since then. You know, everything through from the spiritual and the energetic through to the physical, abilities that have come through perhaps and changed, or how you engage with people.
You know, my first 35, sorry. The first 35 years of my life was ego fulfilling. And that felt perfectly, because I didn't knew any better. There was an emptiness inside of me that I was fulfilling, and my personality or ego reacted on that. So I felt okay here. Till I had my enlightenment moment, and everything was opened up and everything was exposed. So I felt, whoa, there's an emptiness here. I'm doing something. I'm getting something from the external world, money, big house, people knew who I was an important person, blah, blah, blah. And I felt, you know, this is not fulfilling anymore. So I start walking a different path. I start trying to fulfill in a different way. That took me as well till I was 50 years old. There I died. And then there was a shift in that Darshan energy, shift in that energy. And immediately when I woke up or I came back, I felt 100% complete. I call it complete. I felt that I didn't need anything anymore from an external world. So I don't have any needs anymore. Not physical, even not physically, sexually, I don't have any needs. I feel complete as I am. It doesn't matter if I make money or if I don't have any money, or if I have an old car or a new car, a beautiful friend or no friend. It doesn't fulfill me anymore in the way that it fulfilled in the past. So I feel complete, and I feel that it's okay where I am, what I do, and what I am at this moment. That's what really shifted.
So like a feeling of at oneness, peace, and kind of equanimity with every aspect of the spiritual through to the physical for this now moment.
Yeah, correct.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Can
Yeah,
you?
thank you for that.
You have also posted few more questions in the chat. So if you still have them, then you can ask. Then we will save time and we'll ask someone else's questions. You still have them?
Sure. Yeah, so I can kind of I'm tripping over my words, condense them a bit. So I'm coming from really now kind of piecing everything together, realizing kind of how I came in and my process and how far I deviated from my true path, now coming into balance with that. So part of that history is pretty extreme illness and treatment for that illness in the medical sense. And so part of my struggle the last many years is to come back into balance with what I already knew, what is natural for me, but kind of getting my physical body to really cooperate. And so I've been doing, like the last 3 years, a lot of quantum clearing, which has gotten into the layers of the DNA. And there is a lot of the, the trauma programming that comes up. And then I love how you spoke to the fight or flight. And for me, it's been even more the freeze response that seems to get activated or come to the forefront of my physical experience. So the amount, I mean, I stopped counting the amount of near-death experiences I've had, basically because my physical has become so far from kind of what I came here to embody and to bring through. And so I'm in this process of, and I've been in this process of cleansing and clearing and fasting, and strong resonance in knowing, okay, pranic living is my state of being, but getting the body to come back into balance with that and kind of coming up against such harsh reactions that then seem to result in me spinning out and kind of flipping over in the physical to that near-death experience realm continuously. So I didn't know if you have any extra wisdom that might speak to that, of maybe extra layers and levels that need to be looked at in the DNA that maybe haven't been thus far, for those who feel resonant to this, but unfortunately have a lot of medical stuff. And even those people, some people grow up without, foods that have been genetically modified. And then there are those of us who have eaten that way, which does affect the DNA. So some of us might need deeper layers of cleaning and cleansing on that level. And that's been my frustration point, to be like, gosh, how much more of this is there to do?
You know that
Sorry, lost you for a second.
Sorry.
Okay, I think we're
We couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat?
Yeah, are we back? Okay. We can maximum access 10% of what we have experienced. 90% is like the iceberg underwater. That is to that runs like a program in our system. What I see in my retreats, or in the process that I'm sharing, that we never investigate. We just pull the plug and drain without the need of knowing what it is. Everything that's in your cells, everything that was in your past, everything that's in your program. And the power of not knowing is that you can fully 100% drain that program. Otherwise, we are just picking out certain parts of that 10%, and the 90% will stay in your body. So as long as we are investigating in DNA or cell or knowledge or food, it's just one part of that 10%. The whole program of opening into source, draining your cells, connecting that to your physical body by cell and DNA chain. It's the most magical and easy way to get rid of really all your shit and all your physical challenges. I had people diagnosed with bone cancer. They wouldn't have lived for 3 months after the diagnosis. They came to the retreat, and within 6 months they were fully healed. It wasn't in their system anymore. And I don't say that I'm a healer, but the whole process, what they have experienced and got rid of and cleansed their body was the way to healing for most of the people that came to the retreat that had a physical challenge.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Okay, Menor. Now, someone is asking here, I'll read it to you. Why do we have teeth and digestive organs if we were meant to be vegetarians?
Yeah, well, I always refer to the penguin, for example. A penguin was a bird with wings, and still it has wings because evolution takes a lot of time. So first we need to stop eating and drinking for hundreds of thousands of years to get rid of digestive system, kidneys, teeth, and whatever is possible. I don't think we will ever get there because I know that when the need of food falls away, we are finished with this cycle in this physical life. So I don't think that we will all end there with a total empty body with no teeth, everything that's needed for digestive system.
Interesting. Okay, another question. How do we relate to physical hunger and respond to physiological sensations of emptiness, tiredness, desire to chew, feel full, etc.?
Well, there are many programs that are running within us. For example, if we feel alone, and that's a negative feeling, we compensate that with an up. And that up is most of the time the easiest way to take something in your mouth that gives you that taste explosion, a cup of coffee, some chips, some food. And so everything that gives you an up compensates everything that you experience as a down. And most of the time, the addiction is because we compensate the downs.
Interesting. Okay, good. Another question. What were most significant lessons, teachings, wisdom that you experienced during your Brittarian journey?
That pranic living is de-stressing the body. Well, let me start with the beginning. I thought that my body was pretty okay, that I was silent in my meditations. I didn't experience a lot of stress in my body. I felt my digestive system most of the time, but it was acceptable until I took away the food and the water. Then I recognized that there became a stillness inside of me that was absolute. It was my depth of meditation. I was quite silent. I could sit for hours. It became from being in meditation to being nowhere. Just there was no mind anymore. There was no stress in the body. There wasn't even experience of a body, and that never stopped. So what we think is okay in a state of being can only be recognized as less healthy when you're going pranic. When you go pranic, you will feel that there was a mist in your mind, there was a tightness in your brain, your heartbeat was more aware, your energy was restless, and you can only experience that by experiencing it yourself. Taking it away and you will experience, whoa, do I want to go back or do I want to keep this state of being? It's like an enlightenment moment. A lot of people say, oh, I know what it is, it's stillness. No, you know what it is when you've been there. Then you want to stay there, or you want to try more and more to be in that state of, bliss.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Next question. What limiting beliefs did you need to overcome in order to achieve a long-term Brittarian lifestyle?
Ay. Well, again, for me, it's all about the deconditioning of the cells. It's not about beliefs. It's about feeling, reactivating or refining that memory that your blueprint, your default state of being is a cell that only needs energy, and we are just cells. So if you can reconnect that memory that you're just a human being that doesn't need food, that's the activation. That's the embodiment of Pranic, not even Breatharian, because Breatharian needs to do exercises, needs that oxygen, and Pranic living is just being without food and water. Oh, that's it. I don't do anything anymore. I just live life as it is.
Wow. Okay. Next one. What three individuals, like if you had to choose three individuals that have inspired you the most on this Brittarian journey, who would it be?
Anastasia, she's a Russian Breatharian for 20 years. Didn't eat and drink, didn't sleep as I'm doing as well. And she's a beautiful example that she can control her weight, because she's 169, 5 where in winter it's -40, and she says, I need that cover, I need that fat layer to stay warm. And she controls, like I'm doing as well, her weight. The second one is Jasmine in Australia. I feel her energy. I feel her experience of living on prana. I know that she has a very hard process to learn to embody that, because no one works with changing.
We can't hear you, Menor. Menor, I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat, starting from Jasmine?
Yeah, I know Jasmine had a beautiful opening to Pranic system and feel with her. And the third one is Elitom. He's an American breatharian who lives in Egypt, I think. And he is quite active. He's training all the time, showing the world that that's possible on a breatharian lifestyle. So those three are for me the most beautiful examples of Pranic living.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, good. And then another one. Is it recommended to do a dry fast if somebody is diagnosed with multiple sclerosis? It is a severe form of the disease. Thanks.
Well, I've helped almost, I think, 3,000 people in the last 5 years, 4,000, and all kinds of illnesses passed my retreats. They all did a 3-day dry fast, and they all survived. First. Secondly, most really cured or became less ill, because if your immune system resets, 3 days of fasting or dry fasting, your leaky gut closes, your cells are regenerating into a healthier cell, the trauma behind every illness is dissolving, people are always healing. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, another one. Someone says, from what I saw on your YouTube video, you have done it on your own. What would you tell to those who want or must do it on their own as well?
Going pranic or dying?
No. She's talking about going pranic. I'll repeat the question.
Okay, going pranic.
Yeah, you have done it on your own. So what would you recommend to those who want or must do it on their own as well?
Well, to be honest, find a process on which you resonate. Do the program. If it's an online or free program or knowledge of others, follow that program and start with one pranic day a week. Check your weight, check your energy, and check the brightness of your mind. When that works for a couple of weeks, go to 2 days separate of each other, then 3 days, then 3 days behind each other, 5 days behind each other. It will take you a year and a half, and that's just to check if your body and your mind are convinced in the change of less calories and going to live more and more in prana. I know that it's pretty hard for most people, so I think it's easier and safer, especially safer, to buy a small online training. As Akai has an online training, Jusmaim, I think, has an online training. I'm going to have an online training, and that's just a small amount of money, a couple of hundred of euros for most trainings. And if you just follow that training, it's almost guaranteed that if you keep on training within the next 2 or 3 years, you will end up as a breatharian or pranic living.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Thank you so much. Another one. When you eat every once in a while for socializing purpose, do you immediately go back to the natural pranic state without any consumption? Or first, you do anything to clean your body back using water, herbs, or anything else?
Oh, no. In my case, if I eat a little bit, I feel the negative sensations of food. So I feel a little bit more sleepy, I feel more stress, I feel my brain reacting. That's for 2 days, and after 2 days, it's out of my system. All solid foods that I take, and when I take it once in the 2-3 months maximum, it's an amount of a small cup. It comes within 3-4 hours out like diarrhea, like liquid. So it goes in, it flows through my body, and immediately it comes out. So nothing is absorbed, or no, that's what I experience. And that's most of the time because my body doesn't want to go back to food. So whatever I put in, it comes out immediately, and it just flushes out.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, another one. We're approaching the end of this webinar. And now, do you, just a moment, did you do any specific cleansing on your journey, such as colon cleanse, gut cleanse, or did everything clean itself naturally?
No, I fully surrendered to source. So I knew that when I entered this program, I knew that source or prana will take care of me. I never cleansed. I never did anything to detox my body. I detoxed before. If you start my training, get a detox program by going vegan. The last week is to cleanse slowly into the retreat. And after the retreat, by eating less and less, and healthier and more prana, the body will cleanse itself, and everything that's in the body, whatever it may be, whatever we may believe in, it will die, or it will come out, like candida will die, and all other types of, well, I call it names, they will fade away. Source will take care of it.
Amazing, amazing. I'm just curious if you practiced fasting of any kind prior to going Brittarian.
I didn't. During my investigation with food, I had a 30-day water fast period. I lost 20 kilograms in that 30-day. And after that 30-day, I just took in one specific item, like a potato and I started feeling my body reacting. And I felt that everything that I took, my body rejected.
Mhm.
There was nothing that I could take in and felt from this really feels okay.
Menor, I'm sorry, we just lost you. So you said that you
Oh.
did a 30-day water fast prior to
Yeah.
like some time ago, and then starting from there, could you please repeat it?
Yeah. After the 30-day of water fast, I started trying to test mono foods. For example, on boiled potato, I just took one boiled potato or a bite of a boiled potato and just start feeling what is my stomach area doing, or a glass of water, a glass of milk, a piece of vegetable, and nothing really worked for me. I felt, well, if this doesn't work, I don't know anymore where to go, what to do, how to eat. And that's the moment that I really went into fruitarian for a period, liquidarian, 200 calories of juice with a lot of water. And I felt better, kept on losing weight. And then I decided, I don't know it anymore, just show me the way. And that's how my journey into pranic living started.
Okay, interesting. And probably my last question is, I would like to know about your sleep patterns. Are you still sleeping, and how's it going in this area?
I lay on bed approximately 2 till 3 hours. So between 2:30 and 3:30, I feel that my body needs to rest a little bit. So
At night, right? At night
body...
or during the day?
No, at night.
At night.
Yeah. Then I lay most of the time on bed for 2, maximum 3 hours fully awake, and a maximum of 2 hours a week I fall away and I fall into some sort of sleep, and I come back, but it's a maximum of two hours. For the rest, I can close my eyes, but I'm fully aware. I don't have the feeling that I really sleep, or you can ask me 24/7 a question and the answer will come out. I hear everything, I experience everything. And still it's an amazing gift, because if you lay on your bed in total darkness without being away, just closing your eyes and experiencing what's happening, you can really feel the vibration of your cells, your energy levels. You can really expand in that moment. So I see it as an extra gift that I received by living on prana, by experiencing this body in its total perfection, just by laying down and buzzing as I buzz all the time.
Fantastic. And how do you feel the rest of your time? Because you have lots of free time, much more than most people have. So what do you do during this time?
Definitely. Well, most of the time in the morning, I wake up. No, I stand up. I go out of bed, and I'm most of the time 2 hours into silence. So I walk a little bit, sit a little bit, just experience the world as it is, as it's waking up. After that, I make breakfast. No. No, after that, most of the time, I start sporting for an hour, doing my yoga, some fitness, some Tai Chi movements. I like that. I ride a motorbike quite a lot. I love to connect with people. I do that a lot. I swim a lot. I enjoy life by whatever happens during the day, that I can connect with people or sail with a sailboat or whatever. And at night, I work for 1 or 2 hours with my team, because well, I don't connect with people at night most of the time. I do that during daytime. So at night, between 7 and 9, we connect through internet. We can have our meetings, and whatever needs to be organized. I do watch some movies on Netflix, for example, once in a while, just to fill the gap of all the hours that I have. And after 12, I put everything out, I go into silence, and I sit. Time fades away, and I wait till my body is starting to yawn, and I know, all right, now I can lay down and it's time to rest. So I do I meditate a lot? No, I am quite a lot into silence, including during my movement. I would love to walk, but I walk slower, slow down. I feel more. I don't think. I just move, and it's like Tai Chi. Just follow the flow, and you are more like meditation. Yeah,
That's fascinating. Okay, guys, so before we wrap it up, do you have any more questions? It's your last chance right now for this meeting.
In this meeting, yeah.
I remembered one question that I asked in the chat. How long does it take for the body to completely detox? From your own
Detox. Well, what I experienced also around a year. Because if you want to cleanse your water, and most of the toxic materials are in your water and in your fat layer, and a lot of people that are going Pranic first lose a lot of fat. They lose 10-15 kilograms. Body weight stabilizes when your fat levels are on a certain 10-15-17%. And then your water starting to cleanse, and that will take at least a year. So I'm convinced that the total detoxification of your whole body will take at least a year.
Okay, and then do you believe that we can reverse all the damage that we have in the body, like accumulated throughout the years? Could we really reset ourselves?
Now, well, I thought it was like that. What I see is that most people that are starting to live on prana, they start looking 10-15 years younger than they did before. But I see timelines. I see here you're born. This is your book of life. It's like a timeline, and this is where we end. This is where we die, and we can't extend it. It's beginning and an end. But in that book of life is also, are you going to live on prana or not? Are you going to do a program like this? So it's already included. What I see in all my participants, that they have a longer timeline than male and female in general. So they are going to be healthier, and they are going to live 50% longer than average. So does it extend your life? Yes, but it's always including in your book of life. It's just a chapter extra. That's already written. That's already written. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else, guys? Okay, Menor. So now towards the end, please tell us a little bit about your services on the practical level, how to connect with you, where do you do your retreats, people who are interested to approach you. What would you recommend?
Well, first I have a website, www.brahmanmenor.com. We can share that within the group.
Absolutely.
And including my YouTube and my Facebook page, there is quite a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, a lot of experiences of participants. What I say to people, if you are interested in a process like I'm sharing, don't do it from your mind. Really feel if it resonates on your path of life. And I believe that most people that are watching my sharings are destined to follow some sort of a change, are ready to receive one of these processes. And from there, you can really feel, do I want to do the 5-day fully included in the Netherlands up till now, fully included with everything. And after that, you just start your year training by taking control over your food. Do I want to do more homework? Then you can do a weekend, 2 days. A lot of people, super high energy, because when you're doing your exercises with 200 or 400 people, it's whoa, it blows the roof off. It's so much energy that there's no escape. But you have to do some more homework for 2 or 3 weeks. If you want to do it online, you have to do at least 2 months of homework. You have to be dedicated to do once a day for 2 hours some homework. So really feel if what is your path. At this moment, I'm doing the weekends and the week retreats, or the 5-day retreats in the Netherlands in Dutch. But from next year, I'm going to fly all over the world, and I'm going to share especially the weekends, because they're easier to organize with more people. And I'm looking for facilitators at this moment that can help me to facilitate and share this all over the world. So I'm dedicated to start helping as many people as possible. So if you can't come to the Netherlands or don't speak Dutch, just wait or start with the online. The online is in English, so you can always start with that. And when you feel all right, I want to be with him for a couple of days or a week, keep checking my website or my newsletter. Will hear where I am at what time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll supply all the links below this video, guys. So if you're watching this video later on, just scroll down. You will find all the contact details of Menor there. Okay, Menor, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me and creating this beautiful space where we are right now with all those people, and let's change the world together.
Absolutely, let's change the world for the better. Ross,
Yeah.
and also thank you so much for contacting Menor and just bringing Menor here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the cooperation, both of you.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you.
guys. So blessings to everyone. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.